Hello there! Welcome again and new to my channel. My name is WeirdShady, and here we do nonsense commentary on movies and video games alike. So, let's skip right to the point. About Time is a movie that everyone should watch. I mean it! About Time is written and directed by Richard Curtis, who is the same guy that wrote and directed Love Actually and only wrote Notting Hill. About Time is possibly one of the most heartwarming love stories out there on the market. And I do not say that mildly, because About Time is a movie that shows the truest of magic in life and does it with the utmost wholesomeness of a craft of a small and charming movie-making style. I would say that About Time is best to go into completely blind, as there's a story of joy, love, and compassion to be felt all across the board. But if that merry statement is not enough to convince, I can touch upon a little bit more in order to get your spirits up and potentially inspire you to go and check it out for yourself. I'll try not to spoil it as I go along to tell you about the summary of the movie, because you need to see it! But there may be a few pointers to the story that I do reveal, so be careful. So, the movie starts with a pasty English lad named Tim Lake, played by Donald Gleason, who is a young man who experiences both awkward moments and time travel shenanigans on a daily basis. Those two things combined, what could go wrong? He is finding life to be slightly unfulfilling, even though he has a wonderful family and family relations. Lucky guy. He also got an amazing childhood home on the beach where they can live in the most comfortable manner ever, and still he wants more, in the way that he doesn't have a girlfriend. Quite relatable for many young romantics, I would say. And as he puts it himself during the first minute of the movie, he's too tall, he's too skinny, and he's too orange. These things make him feel that he has almost no chance in the world of love. Enter the time traveling, where he learns from his father, who is played by a tentacle-free Davy Jones, aka Bill Nye, that all the men in their family can travel in time. And he can easily do so if he walks into a cupboard, or any small dark spaces, to be fair, clench his fists, and think back to a moment where he wants to go back to in his own life. With this power, Tim has the opportunity to right every wrong, have sex... Puss, du är I vägen. Fan, du inte på puls. Have sex multiple times in a row, only better each time, and even get some ping-pong-filled father and son adventures as his journey takes him through life. I would say that this concept for time traveling is such a relatable thing to want in life. Because, let's be honest here, we would all like to do the same thing if we had this power. Don't you ever think back to that one time in elementary school? That moment where you made an absolute fool out of yourself by peeing in your pants or trousers, and wished for more than anything in the world to be able to fix it so that you don't have to relive it again and again and again and again and again and again when you try to sleep at 3 a.m. in the morning. And I also like that there's absolutely no need for a fancy-ass time machine of every sort as well. There's no need for special effects, green screens, or aliens/robots to be seen anywhere, as this is still such a grounded movie that will pull at your heartstrings more than Prince has any right to do in this solo. So Tim uses these powers to get a girlfriend, and lo and behold, he meets Rachel McAdams, who has a habit of falling in love with men that either travels in time or uses time stones to fix past mistakes. The Time Traveler's Wife, Midnight in Paris, About Time, and Doctor Strange. But later on, Tim finds out that there's a limit to his time travel. That there's indeed obstacles along the way that he can't fix unless he sacrifices much and many things in order to change the smallest of things. This can be quite frustrating for Tim, as he likes to help people that he cares about in the best way that he can. But sometimes things ultimately have to take their own course in order for the people involved to fix it themselves. As the film progresses, the love story starts to shift a little bit. Because normally it's about two people falling in love and exploring each other lovingly and vigorously in many ways. In About Time, we learn that the story is actually about Tim and his father, and struggles to accept hardship and loss as Tim tries to learn the magic of love and happiness that life can provide. I do recommend that you try to notice the father during the duration of the movie. He does give a few looks as a nod to the fact that he is in the loop many of the times as to what Tim is doing. About Time shows us that life is all about the small moments, and that we have to seize what we can in order to enjoy it, no matter what we do. The time travel aspect is indeed used heavily, but I don't really think it's confusing or tiresome at all. That's mostly because we don't always see him actually going through the entire process of the traveling. It's mostly shown by delivering a cut before Tim walks away to do the act, and also adding a heartbeat-esque sound effect that is effective at telling us what he's actually about to do. And Tim, next to always, does this with the kindest of hearts, as most of his actions come from a good place. I love the fact that the ending is a combination of shots with lots of random people, but also sprinkled with a few shots of the main characters from the movie, as it shows that these characters are indeed normal people, living their normal lives. They're not some bigger-than-life beings that want to change or rule the universe or want to seek power and such things. They're just simply fully normal people that live fully normal and charming lives. I also have to mention that I have never, ever seen a movie with a more well-presented soundtrack that fits both the vibe and the necessity that this movie has going for it. The soundtrack fits next to perfectly to every scene as the music is placed and used throughout the playtime. It plays songs that include piano-fied and orchestral songs to all the personal moments of joy and sadness that it directly connects with the characters in different ways. The songs say so much about every sentimental moment in the movie, and I'm absolutely here for it. Overall, I find this movie to be very special. It's small, it's humble, it's simple, and rightly so, extremely real. And I truly believe that everyone should watch About Time at least once in their lifetime. For better or worse, just because I feel like people could be reminded to see life for what it truly is, if not only to try. About Time is also an easy watch for me personally, especially since I feel like it gets shorter each time I watch it. I can't speak for you, of course, but I hope that someone gets the itch of wanting to see it. And it's a total blast as a date night movie, just gotta say. Before I wrap this up, I would like to present to you Fun Facts with Shady. Did you know that the kid that played the youngling version of Tim Lake is actually the director, Richard Curtis's own son? The first date between Tim and Mary is inspired heavily from one of director Richard Curtis's real-life experiences as well. This movie also has 3 actors from Harry Potter: Richard Griffiths, Bill Nighy, and Domhnall Gleeson, respectively. It was in fact also Griffiths' last ever movie that he filmed, before he was laid to rest, sadly. The first time that Tim enters Mary's apartment, you can see a framed drawing by the door. This is an illustration of Roald Dahl's Matilda, which is indeed illustrated by Quentin Blake. You can also see this picture several times throughout the movie, and Mary most likely has this picture because the said character, in About Time, reads for a living. Movies tend to have a code name and secret titles when being filmed and shipped to theaters. About Time held this secret code name, Cupboard, which is a reference to Tim first using his time-traveling power inside of a cupboard. The line where the father tells Tim that he can't travel in time in order to kill Hitler or shag Helen of Troy can be extremely funny for a true cinephile, as it can be seen as Easter eggs for a movie Bill Nighy himself was in called Valkyrie, where the plot is to assassinate Hitler, and Domhnall Gleeson's father, Brendan Gleeson, played Helen of Troy's husband in Troy. That's all I had, I'm afraid. And I don't think I can say more about the movie without spoiling the entire thingy. So if you'd like me to do a total spoiled video of the movie at some point, for example, some kind of deep dive, don't be afraid to say so. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later someday. Fare thee well for now.